Greetings, and I was not planning on going live today except for going to Love After Lockup, doing Love After Lockup, but it seems I have to address this silly thing. If you were watching the interwebs yesterday, and everybody was PMing me about this, yesterday we had something really interesting happen. You don't know who I am. I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer of No Longer Quivering, a Pathos blog for over 10 years. Well, nearly 10 years, and then 10 years, a few years afterwards. Don't believe what I'm talking about in here. Don't send them hate mail, nothing like that, please. Hit the click, like, subscribe button if you want to. If you can't stand it, hit the downward button, send me to hell. Whatever. It's all good. Hey, Bozzy. And that Amber chick, let me tell you what's been happening. I wasn't going to even mention this. Hey, Jade Art Lady and Kitten on the Keys. Apparently yesterday morning, and I saw this when she did, Amy Duggar King posted a thing about picking up her kids and being home and how she wasn't going to fall asleep, that she knew better. Hey, Heather. Oh, I hope you are. Oh, my goodness. Heather, feel better. Yeah. And if you ever need to hit me up for asthma things, let me know. If you can get a biologic, if you can get them to give you a biologic, it's the best thing ever. I have to go there. Hey, Brenda Lee. So let me read you this thing because it was sent to me too, and I'd already seen it anyway, but it's pretty crazy. I wasn't going to mention it. I thought it was tacky and dumb on Amy Duggar King's part. I thought this is just not done. Say these crappy things about your relatives. Her picture, which is the same picture that I have as my thumbnail for this, had writing. It says, "I'm home with little man. We have jumped on the trampoline, built huge towers with blocks, read books, and now a little lunch / screen time. One thing I won't be doing is falling asleep." If that's not shade, I don't know what shade is against Jana, because Jana is accused of falling asleep and leaving at least one child in the Duggar sphere running down the street, being out in the intersection. And I understand the falling asleep. I have to talk a few things about that. My hair's driving me nuts. It's itching, so I'm doing a lot of crazy stuff with it. Throw it behind me again. So it was definitely uncalled for. It shows her true spirit. Yes, Jade, I saw that and thought, boy, that is a mean girl thing to say if there ever was one. And I was thinking, oh my goodness. Yes, Bossy, Amy wrote that. Knowing that her cousin has been arrested for this and had to post bail and all of that, to say that is kind of bitchy. It's just really out there, even though it's the sort of thing you might whisper to a friend, is not something you post on your Instagram, but she did. And then people started calling her out for it. But only after a certain Without a Box of Kleenex mentioned that she posted this and reposted it on Instagram and said her comment about it. That was the only point in which Amy suddenly was like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I'm not mean like that. Yes, Olivia, she has. And we all make those mistakes. That was another thing. Poor Jana is overworked and used for everything. Bossy, that's exactly right. She is. So I would give her grace for that. In fact, I'm really shocked that they are charging her anything with that. I've heard tales, people are saying, oh, that's because of Josh. I don't think it's because of Josh. I think it's because they had at least one, I heard of several toddlers in the middle of the intersection. And that she was just asleep at the wheel. And that does happen. So it happens. We all make these stupid parenting mistakes. And Jana isn't even their parent. She is, I'm going to call it the dog's body, the jack of all trades of the Duggar household. She gets to do all of the babysitting, all of that crap. And they don't ask her, they don't pay her. This is just what they assume she's there for. So if you're going to have those sort of things happening, perhaps Jana should not be taxed with doing this thing. Perhaps this is a good sign to the Duggars that they ought to hire somebody to come in or else rotate that chore with other people. That was just a low blow, and it shows how low she will go by trying to cover it up now. That's exactly right. Always grateful. I was real disappointed with her because you remember she supposedly broke it off without a box of Kleenex. When she starts saying stuff like that, we know darn good and well she hasn't broken it off with a box of Kleenex. She's picked up her mean girl vibe. And when she wasn't going to apologize at all, and then Katie Joy started, I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust this. Katie Joy started pointing it out, and then she got a tremendous amount of pushback. So Amy does suck. You're exactly right, Sarah. She does. She sucks, but at the same time, she's the kind of suck we all are. I mean, as parents, we make all kinds of horrible, dumb mistakes. She's not even their parent. She's a family member who's been tasked to sit those kids, and that's not a good thing for her. So the other thing that came out about all of this about Jana was that I've seen a bunch of creators, and I'm not even going to name this creator. This is somebody that I'm friends with still that I like quite a bit, who mistook something I said about the profession, which I didn't say it about them. I was talking about somebody else that does what they do. So I'm going to have to reach out to her this afternoon because this creator said a lot of stuff about the Jana arrest that just wasn't even true. And it's not without a box of Kleenex saying these things. She said that Jana fell asleep because she was taking care of Josh and Anna's newborn, even though this incident occurred back in September. It occurred in September, so there's no way that Jana was taking care of a child that was still in utero. There's just no way. And she made the very sensible point that all of us suck. We all do these things. These things happen. Like I said the other day, I actually dropped my son. I leaned over and he flopped out. So that happens. We all do these sucky things. I wish Jana would move out and start her own business. I saw an article about her having a decorating business. I think this happened 3 months ago, but was brought up to redirect attention from Josh. Gee, I wish she would too. She's missed her 20s, the fun part of the 20s where you have your first apartment and you're decorating it on a shoestring and you're going out with your girlfriends, you're having fun, you're just going and doing different things to say, hey, let's go ride go-karts and play putt-putt tonight. Let's go clubbing the next night. Just she's missed that entire portion of her life that most of us experience that helps us get our wild oats out so that we're ready to get married and settle down. She is like the Cinderella of that family. So this person was saying that Anna was exhausted but Jana was exhausted caring for the newborn baby. It's not true. The newborn baby wasn't even around then. There were a couple other things that this person said too that weren't factual. I'm just going to throw that right out there. If you're going to make a video about the Duggars in any way, shape, or form, it behooves you to go ahead and research everything about the thing they're saying or doing. Because if you don't, you're going to end up having to retract it. You're going to have to sit and retract or not. Now, I tried to talk to this person, and they said their points were valid, even though they had basic facts wrong about the Jana Duggar thing. So I still don't think it is an attempt to get at Josh. I don't think that they are being targeted. I think when a passerby or sees toddlers in a road intersection and calls the police, that is not targeting people. That is making sure that everybody is safe. Hey, Jan. So there's that. It's not targeted. Obama's not behind it. Biden's not behind it. Trump's not behind it. It's just correcting a mistake. And I'm really surprised that they made Jana put up bail. But they did. And so Jana has to bear the embarrassment of the whole world knowing now And that's pretty bad for something that is clearly kind of a misdemeanor. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the siblings dropped the kids off at the parents' house to be sorted while they work for Jim Bob. Yes, I believe that. I believe that's the truth of the matter. That's why poor Jana ends up with everything. Just water today. I have gone through my Diet Coke allowance. And I don't doubt at all that's how they handle. Say, hey, I got to go to the doctor. Here's my kids. Hey, I got to go to the grocery store. Here's my kids. I suspect you're right. That's how they're handling life up there. And I don't get it. I wouldn't do it like that. But that's just me. I just hate that it happened to Jana of all of them. Amanda, so do I. So do I. And I'm really surprised that they didn't do something like say, okay, take this parenting babysitting class and take these other steps, and it won't go any further. Katie didn't update regarding Jana's Franny, you erased it while I was reading it aloud. She updated about Jana several times, and she tried to claim that she broke the story, which is not true. I saw it in a British tabloid before she ever said anything about it. Others who work for CPS have said they don't usually charge people when this happens unless it's a repeated thing. Jade, that's what I'm thinking. This may have been one of many times they've been called out there because of some snafu with Janice Karen. I hope that's not true. And if it is true, Jim Bob and Michelle, step up and babysit your grandkids. Don't fob it off on somebody else. I mean, what does Michelle do all day? She's up at the Tin Mansion not doing a damn thing as far as I can see. She doesn't parent her own kids. She has the older siblings do that. So I'm not thinking she's doing anything. And I think that Jan is probably doing everything there and is exhausted. Katie posted a typed statement either on Instagram or Twitter where she mentions a family member gave her some info on Jana. Makes me wonder if Amy and Katie are still BFFs. Yep, I'm thinking the same thing, but I don't know why. Without a Box of Kleenex was the one that got all the attention to Amy's comments, because before that we all looked at it and went, oh, that's tacky. And then Without a Box of Kleenex went ahead and made a big deal over it and pasted it on her Instagram, and then suddenly Amy is being flooded with "you horrible, hateful person" kind of comments. That's why I've started trying to put a disclaimer on and say, don't harass anybody I'm talking about. Please don't go real life. I don't think that's ever a good idea. Jana has been a mom since she was a young teen. I think before that even. Jade Lady, I'm not surprised. I know there's been calls to CPS that once they arrive, Jim Bob has refused to let them on site because of the fact that, according to legal homeschool legal defense fund, you can do that, and that's kind of squishy. I would say cooperate with CPS as best you can, because if not, they're going to flag you as problematic and probably watch you. Yes, those two are still talking trash together. Each are making money off this whole horribleness thing. I think they are. I think they're making money hand over fist talking about this stuff. So anyway, that's just my little rant. I just want to make sure that when we talk about the Duggars and or Without a Box of Kleenex, we need to be accurate on what we're saying, because if we're not, we're just no better than a box of Kleenex without a box of Kleenex. Hey, Laura. So I hope that Jana gets away from the family eventually and has a little peace and quiet to herself. She's living in that bedroom with all those little girls. Just kind of blows my mind. I cannot stand Amy Duggar King. Thank you so much, Jade Lady. I just bought yarn yesterday. It was real expensive, the kind I bought. So I appreciate that. I wish Jana would move out and figure out how to be alone. Tanya, exactly. And I don't like Amy Duggar King either. She seems a little on the immature and bitchy side to me from what little I've seen, some of the things she said. So I'm not a fan. Not a fan of her at all. I'm more of a fan of Jana and a couple of the others than I am her. And my heart is broken for all those older girls because of what's come out as a result of Josh's trial. Okay, that's all I had to say. I had to jump out and say it because I've been thinking about this all day while we're sitting at church and various things and thinking, I got to say something about this. So that's it. Like I said, got to be accurate when we're talking about anything to do with the Duggars because it doesn't do any good to come up with this El Crapola and let it be what's put out there. We need to be accurate. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go lay down. It's been one of those days already. So I'll be back later for Love After Lockup. Some of it is spread by her. Some of it is. Jedi. But this is somebody I've seen who was part of the KJ Truther community. She now claims she's beyond all of that, but she's not using the right. Are they getting very aggressive? That's not good. They shouldn't be doing that. They need to leave poor Amy Duggar King alone. She's not my favorite, but I don't want to see her get harassed. That may be why Jana was charged because the family's been flagged as problematic with CPS. That could be Amanda. And they're being flagged as problematic because they are problematic and they keep refusing to allow CPS in to do any kind of investigation whatsoever. Jana's sentence should be she can't be the Duggars babies for. I agree. It would be a relief for her. I'm behind on the stream as usual, but I think the charges because so many littles and a neighbor called after finding them on a busy road. It's just a miracle none of those kids got squashed by cars. That would have really been tragic. That would have been horrible. Going after Emily really bad. Yes, she is, which blows my mind. Read the Walmart guy on Reddit. He testified. No, I haven't gotten around to Reddit yet today. I had to get up this morning and go to church with my husband. Not in love with that. I think I'm gonna have to stay home more and um, do some type of online church because this is not working with my asthma the way it is. I will never forget Amy Duggar King or 3130 Clothing ever. She is a mean girl and a bully. Yes, why would you buy anything from her? Because everything she's selling is cheap Chinese stuff that you can buy online for a lot cheaper, directly from the manufacturer. Also, the family has called her Jana of all trades instead of Jack. The Snackers call her Janarella. I'm not surprised to see Amy's mean girl streak. It happens when you indulge cruel people. That's exactly right, Diash. I just want to throw out there again, you eventually become like the people you hang out with. So that's why you should be really careful who your friends are. Yeah, I'm gonna try to enjoy the rest of my weekend. I have got to go look at Love After Lockup because my husband's raring to do his Love After Lockup thing, and we haven't watched it yet. And I got some crocheting to do. I got that beautiful, beautiful high-end cotton yarn that I never even dreamed we had in Tamarindo. Yes, we have a yarn store now. They don't have the biggest selection, but they have some quite nice South American yarn that's the good stuff. So I was pleased to get it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to enjoy it. You guys have a great Sunday. We'll be back at 6 for Love After Lockup. So my husband can do his thing and I can help out a little bit. I'll see you guys later.